Greetings, kindred. I am Voivode Mekhet, and Atlanta, Darkness Emergent Atlanta is now over. I am home, and we are starting to compile all of the stuff we have for you, and there is a lot. Who I was playing, what I was doing, all the stuff, all of it is going to be gone over in several installations because there is just so much to talk about. Today, however, I think I owe some of you at least an explanation. A lot of things have happened. Just to get it out there, I was playing Germain, Count Germain of Anarch fame, child of Critias, instigator of the French Revolution, apparently murderer of Toreador, all that stuff. I was doing that. I was playing that. Mark Meir was there, and he played Tigerius. He played my jailer and my judge. Miss Magitek Tracy was there playing the beautiful Victoria Ash. Just so many people, so many amazing people, which I will gush over in later videos. Absolutely. But today is me. I'm talking about Mekhet. Back in LA, I sent out a message telling everybody that I'm sorry, any of the videos that come out are going to have to be out of character now on because, well, that's it. I didn't really give an explanation. I did not outright lie, but I let the assumptions go like wildfire. And that is, I faked my death. Live weird, fake your death. How did I do it? Is really what I deserve to like need to tell you. That's what needs to happen because a lot went into this. First off, back in Chicago, we're gonna try to do this in order as far as things go. Well, let's go all the way back. In San Antonio, I was approached by the Digital Collective, primarily by a guy named Sin 5IN, who is part of the Peoria, Illinois game, asking me if blink if this is you, holding up his phone with my face on it, in my face, in my face, him asking if that is me in character. I said yes. I was brought to the Prince, Vera Velasquez, who is being played by Cynthia Marie, as well as a group of individuals that I did not know who they were in character or out of character. They ended up being Justicar for Life Lucinde of Clan Ventru, and a handful of Archons. That happened. So as they were discussing my various infractions, masquerade violations caused by my plethora of videos that can be found on YouTube, I think at the time I was TikToking, like all that stuff. They were talking about how they needed to rip all that stuff down, and I said, no! No, you don't. I am working on something. I run a role-playing thing. It's all for Black Dog games, but I've realized that the World of Shadows story setting for Black Dog games is so similar to our world that an investigation needs to be underway. They were gonna kill me. And then I started naming names. I looked around and I looked at all the people that I knew. Everybody that I saw in the room who were playing characters or storytelling. And I started naming their names. I started name dropping producers, writers, instigators, storytellers, board members of By Night Studios, of Onyx Path, like all the everythings. All the everythings. Paradox Interactive, By Night Studios, White Wolf, all that stuff. They were in the room. I figured if I was going to die, I was going to at least give my friends a chuckle. Give them a name drop in the world of darkness and see how that goes. That impressed them. That impressed them to the point where Vera Velasquez, the Nosferatu the Nosferatu Prince herself of San Antonio, played by the lovely Cynthia Marie, gave me status. I got resourceful. I love that status. I earned that status. Now, I didn't realize that this was going to start a trend. I didn't realize that the cogs in the minds of the storytellers were going to start turning. And they decided to punish me. I have no ill will for this. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was funny as hell. But they decided that it was time to push back because I introduced a whole plot line into this game that did not need to be there. I had already gotten myself into a lot of trouble. I had robbed a technocracy mage for $200 million and went from having the poverty flaw to like not having all of the merits that have to do with resources. Um, but that happened. In Chicago, I ended up using my status as a YouTuber to help Prince Kevin Jackson figure out what masquerade breachy videos were actually masquerade breaches, what were threats to his praxis. And I also had to hide an item, and I ended up hollowing myself out and keeping everything inside, utilizing the powers of vicissitude to become my own duffel bag, effectively. This is important. By the time I got to Vegas, when we went to the Darkness Emergent Las Vegas, I realized something was wrong. I realized that the Camarilla, regardless of whether or not they told me to continue doing what I was doing, that they gave me the service of the Digital Collective, the faction that runs all technological stuff in Kindred Society, they were still after me for some reason. I didn't know why. I still don't 100% know why they would tell me to do something and then condemn me for it. Setting an example, maybe? I don't know. But the fact is, they told me to do it. That being the case, a buddy of mine, Nomad, Gangrel, Anarch, Baron, awesome member of the Iron Horsemen. I love the Iron Horsemen. I'm so happy that I got thrown into that faction because I hadn't intended to. I was put there, and I love it. It's best ever. Best people. Nomad and I concocted a plan. He was also, for some reason, on Lucin's shit list. Not really sure why, what he did, but she wanted to teach both of us a lesson. And for some reason, in a drunken night at a curio bar, we decided that we were going to do things on our own terms, that we were going to concoct a plan of our own. I still had this hollowed out cavity. So we put a second heart in there with the intention of when Lucind comes in and says, hey, Nomad, kill him, he was going to use his claws to reach in, grab it out, and crush it. And I was going to use the abilities that I had with Protean and flesh crafting and vicissitude to basically shrivel myself up and look like a desiccated corpse, dead. My character was still young enough at the time to get away with that. Pushing it now. But I was only 6 months in Brace when I went to San Antonio. The idea was he would eventually just grab my body, I'll dispose of this, walk off, and then it's time for me to run off and change my identity. Still playing Mekhet. That was the plan. We didn't get to enact it. I got into a lot of trouble in Vegas, but that's neither here nor there. Los Angeles, however. Los Angeles got me. I lost to humanity one of the nights. I thought that I found somebody who was attempting to assassinate Victor Temple, working with hunters. It turned out it was just some asshole who was trying to steal things and play a prank on the Baron of the Valley. I ended up getting one of those two people taken out. Wasn't my fault whatsoever. It was actually Victor Temple's freaking assistant accountant sweater vest wearing... I don't even know if he was kindred. I think he was a ghoul. Either way, that does not matter. What matters is the fact that I felt the guilt. And I went through the process. Because if you lose a character, you stop playing them. Yeah, there could be some mourning. In my point of view, there should be. You should be attached to the character that you're playing. But you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you go search for that next story. Losing humanity, on the other hand, is you have to rethink what that character is with less of an ethical hold. I'm playing Mekhet at this point in time. Voivode Mekhet. Me. I'm playing myself. I had to sit there and go, what the hell am I like with less humanity? So I lost myself at the Succubus Club. I drank. I danced. I moved with the writhing bodies of my fellow Iron Horsemen, my allies. I was feet away from Victoria Ash, the hostess. And I enjoyed where I was. Because if you win a remorse check, you care, you mourn, you allow it to affect you. I won, or I lost. I lost the remorse check, so I gave myself into hedonism for the night. I enjoyed myself. I lost myself in the music and felt the pumping beat and the heat rising from the various bodies around me. It was ecstatic. It was the closest thing to a true frenzy that I can actually say that I've ever experienced. The next night, on the other hand, was a little different. We had our faction meeting. We do that every night of Darkness Emergent, is we have our faction meetings. The faction meetings go to areas, we discuss what's going on, what our plans are, if there are any instructions or directions or anything that we have to do, we handle it then. While we're in the middle of discussing how we were going to handle a certain fight that we were in, because we ticked off a rival gang in Vegas and it had carried over to LA. They're called the Golden Vipers. It was going to be this huge thing. Mercy comes running in. Now Mercy is a very good friend of mine. She is a Zemitzi. She's part of the Peoria, Illinois game, and those of you on an out of character basis will know her as Poison Lily. She is the editor of the videos that I make. She's editing this one right now. But she comes in with a piece of paper that has various things that this Camarilla Summit wants to discuss. And some of them are actually the masquerade violations of social media personalities. Mekhet was on that list. The Camarilla are after me. Again, the Camarilla who told me to do it are after me. I don't have time to process this before another group of individuals run into our faction meeting. No one's supposed to be there but the horsemen, mind you. But another Zemitzi that I know rushes in, and he's begging for help. Any Zemitzi who can be spared. There's apparently a Ventrue who has a thing by the docks, and there's guards, and we need to fight past it. We need to get it. I don't even know what it is, but this is my clan. I love my Zemitzi. My fiends. I've adopted this family. And I tell the Iron Horsemen that I'm sorry that I will be there as soon as I can, but I might be late for the fight with the Iron Vipers. The Golden Vipers, which I never get to. I don't get to participate in it. Which I was sad because I really instigated that fight. I really wanted to be there for that. Instead, I find myself at the docks, planning some attack. We figure out what we're doing. With the amount of money that my character stole from the mages, I had headsets and stuff, and we're sitting there planning. There's a Ravno there also, and I go, hey, Ravno, let's not overexert ourselves. I also practice chemistry. I think we can work together. We need a distraction. What I want you to do is make it look like there are lights in the skies. They can see the drones. I will make the sound of the drones. That way, we're not putting all of our thought, all of our energy into keeping the illusion up. We each handle a part of it. Yes, we'll do that. While we're sitting there in the middle of the planning, spread out fairly well, discussing things through our headphones, somebody walks up over by Mercy. Mercy looks up and sees the guy, and it's one of the Camarilla envoy. From what I understand, it's an Archon Banu Hakim. He's there for me. He's decided that when the fight is over, while I'm nice and wounded, he's just going to go ahead and grab me, apprehend me, and take me to court. It's on. I don't have time to enact the fake heart plan that I had with Nomad. Nomad's not even here. There's chaos going all over the place. There's several horde forms running around, and I see the individual, the Zamitsi who planned this attack, the one who came and got me, is being attacked by somebody with phosphorus gun. He's just taking shot after shot after shot. And it gets around to my turn. When it gets around to my turn, I go up to Daniel, who's the storyteller at the time. I tell him what I'm going to do. I'm going to charge. I'm going to go into horde form. I'm going to charge. And I tell Daniel quietly, so it's just him and I having this conversation. A couple of nights prior, I had investigated an attack at the last drop. The last round. Sorry, last drop is the bar that I use in my tabletop game. I apologize. Anyway, I'm investigating the last round, where Baron Nines Rodriguez runs his stuff. Well, it's just blown up. Somebody has just destroyed the place, shot the place up. Somebody attacked. I found the ashen remains of a kindred, and to have them investigated, to show them to someone who can identify them possibly, I put them in a gallon Ziploc bag, which I actually had on me. Because you never know when you have to pick up some weird stuff, you know? Evidence happens all the time at this point in my life. So, here's how I did it. Here's how Mekhet faked his death. I'm fully on admitting that right now. Mekhet is alive, and he faked his death. I have been deceiving you all of this time. In horde form, I ran over to the individual who was attacking my Zamitsi friend, and I ended up taking a couple shots to the chest with phosphorus rounds. Which at first I was like, oh, that sucks, aggravated damage. But then I went, no, people saw that. They know that I've taken damage. So what I end up doing is charging and fighting this venture. We end up going into the water. And on the way down, I took out that bag and I opened it, spewing the ashes everywhere, so they're just floating on the top of the water. I stopped my chimerical illusion. So there was just lights, no more sound. The scream and cry of anguish from that Ravno, when he realized that one of his compatriots, one of his allies in this fight, had died. Mercy also freaked the hell out, collected as much as the ashes as she could. I swam home, and Mekhet exited Darkness Emergent at that point in time. I went back to my hotel room. I showered, I shaved, I changed clothes, and I went back. Luckily, and I had already had this pass with the Darkness Emergent staff, I had a backup character. Because I already knew that the Camarilla was out to get me. And I didn't know if I was going to get away, or what I was going to do if I got away. So I brought in Abraham Charles Myers, the Toreador Prince of Fort Myers, Florida, who is the prince of the LARP that I run at home. That way I could have whatever information that I got at DE and give it to my players, because our game runs along with Darkness Emergent. So, yeah, live weird, guys. Fake your death, if need be. The reason I'm bringing up this now, the reason I'm confessing my life to you, the fact that I'm still around, still up and kicking, is because while I was playing an NPC for By Night Studios in Darkness Emergent Atlanta, I did not realize that a handful of players, led, from what I understand, led by Mercy, by the way, led by Poison Lily's character Mercy, approached Mark Mears' character Tegrius, the 5th generation Banu Hakim judge. They approached him with all of the evidence that Mekhet had been put up to doing it by Lucinda. Lucinda had an Archon there also who spoke in her defense. From what I understand, a few individuals, a few characters spoke in Lucine's defense. And Cynthia Marie, who played Vera Velasquez in San Antonio, also was playing Velasquez there this night. She spoke in my defense, noting that she gave me status, that she supported what I was doing, that I was trying to protect us, that I was actually working for the masquerade, not against it, in my labors. Tegrius heard the words of those who were supporting me, and he heard the words of those who were damning me. Mekhet's been exonerated. Mekhet was cleared of all charges posthumously. I want to point that out because it still wasn't brought out directly that he was alive. In fact, it was brought out that he was dead, that I was cleared post-mortem. But Mekhet's not quiet. Mekhet's not one of those individuals who's going to bide his time. He's going to want to get back to his regular life. Now, I don't know what Darkness Emergent Los Angeles 2026 is going to hold. Because that's the next step, guys. We're going back to LA. We're going back to the Biltmore Hotel. At least that's the plan. I could very well bring Mekhet back. I very well might bring Mekhet back. I love that character. I love myself. I'm having fun. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I like stirring the pot. I like causing trouble. And I have some individuals that I really need to thank. Those people who stuck up for me. Those people who put their neck on the line talking to a Methuselah to clear my name. I also have a handful of individuals that I'd really like to talk to. The ones who came after me. Either way, I just wanted to let you know in a not so long video focusing specifically on this, what went down as far as the Mekhet thing. I wanted to admit to you all that I have deceived you. I wanted to admit to you all that I have utilized the arts of subterfuge and deceit. And now, if anything happens to Mekhet again, you will have no idea whether or not I'm actually gone. I want you to keep that in mind. Keep in mind the fact that can you really trust any kindred? That's all I got. If you enjoyed any of this, please give me a like. It's not much. Click the damn thing. It's not bad. Share this for anybody who's really loving conspiracy theories and Vampire the Masquerade content. And of course, if you have not subscribed to my channel, what the hell are you doing here? Subscribe. Come on. I am a professional storyteller. This is what I do for a living. I very much love it, and I have a very, very large growing community. There is a Vampire the Masquerade channel, which you are watching this on right now, a Hunter the Reckoning channel in its infancy, as well as a Werewolf the Apocalypse, all focusing on 5th edition World of Darkness stuff. If you are interested in having me as your storyteller, either for a one-shot or if you want to join the greater Our World of Darkness community, check out my Patreon. There's a menu up there for everything that I have to offer. And on that, I would like to thank everybody, the players, the staff, the storytellers, the security, the hotel staff that helped us out at Darkness Emergent Atlanta. We had such an amazing time, and I can't wait for the next one. With that, thank you for joining me here on Voivode Mekhet presents Vampire the Masquerade in this explanation of what went down in Atlanta and technically what's been going down for a few months now, guys. I'll talk to you later. Good evening.